How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Midnight Channel. This is a video that I know some people have asked me, especially on Twitter. I'm sure if you guys know David Cast and King Narukami 45, who are constantly in my channel here in my podcast, the ongoing war between the 2021 and 22 release of Shin Megami Tensei 5. So today, I finally give you guys my thoughts. Do I think this game is going to release in this year? Do I think this game is going to get released this year, next year, or the next year after that? So let's go ahead and jump right into the video here. So first of all, let's talk about a little bit of history regarding Shin Megami Tensei 5. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 originally was announced during the 30th anniversary of the Shin Megami Tensei series, which is obviously a big deal. Like they announced the next in the series, people get excited, and things happened. And we don't really hear anything about it. We heard nothing for a long time. And obviously now it's the 35th year anniversary, and people are like, "Hey, what's going on with this game? What's happening and everything?" So finally, we see a trailer last year in July 2020, and we get a trailer with a release date of 2021 as a worldwide release. Now, first of all, right off the bat, I want to say I want to hand it off to us and Nintendo for actually keeping this a secret. If you didn't know anything about like the Atlus releases and everything, they're really bad at keeping secrets. So, typically, a lot of these games will like leak prior to the actual announcement or anything like that. But they actually kept this one like quite well. Like we didn't know anything about it, and during this presentation, not only did we get the announcement for Shin Megami Tensei 5, we also got Nocturne, which obviously at this point already released and everything. So we're going to take that in consideration into what we're talking about now. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 has a 2021 release. We have not seen any footage as far as the gameplay, and I mean an actual gameplay. I don't mean like the cutscenes that we've seen or anything like that. I mean like pure gameplay where we see other characters other than main protagonists, not pre-rendered cutscenes. You just kind of like seeing the world building, anything about regarding to the story, like actual gameplay. Like the turn-based RPG, whatever it's gonna look like. It's just we really haven't seen much, and that's really a concern to me because we're already in May. No, I'm sorry, we're already in June at this point. Wow, it's already June the 3rd, and at this point we should have seen something. It is, even if you're not a fan, even if you're kind of like just somebody that keeps up with the news every once in a while or anything like that, or any game, not just Shin Megami Tensei, but if you're a fan of video games in general, there's typically this time frame between the announcement and the release date where they push for advertisement, where they announce heavily advertise the game, where they heavily focus on the game release. They have there's sometimes they have like people play at the game. Sometimes they release new trailers, and with the Shin Megami Tensei series and the Persona series, they typically do drop a lot of trailers, including with Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, which we can use as an example. We really had like 3 or 4 months of just pure advertisement and announcements, just going through the motions before we actually got the release of the game. So at this point, you gotta think about it. We're almost half the way. No, we're literally in half the way through the year. So how much of that is left for advertisement and announcements and everything like that? Now, we also got to think about it this way. It is during the pandemic. Like we are really just coming out of a pandemic. We're still during this situation here, and a lot of departments, a lot of different companies are really lost a lot of money, or really couldn't focus on like the whole development of games. A lot of games were delayed for 2022, and some games for 2021 20 were delayed to 2021. So this is a new thing. Like this isn't like unexpected or anything like that. From that perspective, a lot of games were delayed. So taking all the consideration, I personally would love to have this game this year. I 100% I'm like, man, what if this game released this year? Like I really want to see Shin Megami Tensei this year because I'm a fan. I've been waiting for this game for some time. And I really just would like to know when the game is coming out. And if it does come in 2021, that's great. But personally, everything that is happening, I think we might be looking at a 2022 release. I think that's probably what I'm gonna say. Like, if it comes out in 2021, I would love to be great, but things aren't really looking too positive at this point. We still have E3, so that's like the final thing, right? Like, if we get an E3, we can definitely see for sure. E3. We have this other a bunch of festivals going on, maybe another Nintendo Direct, something like that. So we have like a bunch of stuff going on in June and July where you can really see this is the definitive time. This is a time when we actually have for us to say, yeah, it's coming out in 2021, or no, guys, it's going to be delayed to 2022. And either way, whether it's a 22 release date or 2021 release date, really think about it like, it's okay if it's delayed, and I'd rather have it delayed than have a rushed game. I always feel like this with any game. Like, I don't think anybody wants a game delayed. Like, I don't think the developers want, or the players, the people that's waiting for the game, or Atlus themselves, or Sega who is funding this game, or Nintendo who already promised the game in 2021. Like, all these people that have been waiting for this game for some time now are not thinking, man, I really just want this game to be delayed. Like, nobody, including King Narukami 2022 boy, is saying, yeah, I want this delayed because I want it delayed. Like, in reality, like, nobody ever just kind of goes, man, I really want this game delayed. Like, sometimes you see gameplay and sometimes you see games, you're like, man, this game could use a delay. Like, there are certain times when I'm watching a certain game. For example, let's just use two examples, really. Well, let's just use, this week I started playing a game called Biomutant, which is being delayed to hell. I actually pre-ordered this game back in 2016, and it's been in a development hell for some time. It went through a lot of serious reconstructions. There's a lot of changes in the game, and the game released, and it's had issues. It's had some major issues, and I could see the writing in the wall when the developers themselves and the publisher DHQ Nordic was, hey guys, keep in mind this is it's a studio of 20 people, or hey, keep in mind this is a small studio making this game. They kept making this in interviews. They kept saying that. They kept saying that everywhere. Now, turned out to another game that came out last year, which happened with a similar thing. That's going to be one of the biggest scandals in a while, Cyberpunk 2077, was also delayed multiple times. And I think at this point, nobody would have been mad if they had delayed it for another year. Like, hey guys, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Development hasn't gone super smooth. Give us another year to work on the game. Nobody would have been like, oh man, fuck this game. Like, I feel like now at this point, where you get to a point where it's almost irreversible because it already happened. But if it was me or like anybody in like the board and be like, yeah, let's give it another year in the open. Let's just give it some time for this game to really sit there and really just kind of works, like, be sure that it's working like it's supposed to go. So I personally think that I would love it if they delay games because they need it. But if it's just a game, like, if it's definitely something they can work on and not delay, definitely good. But also, delays aren't always bad, like I said. So if it gets delayed, it's fine. But I personally just want to see some information on the game. I personally would like to see what's going on with the series overall. Like, what are you guys making? Like, I want to see a trailer or something like that, gameplay. Even if it were to be delayed, I feel like if people watch gameplay, they will say, yeah, it's fine. We saw gameplay. We know the game's gonna look good. We know. So that's how I feel about it, guys. That's pretty much it for today. Just kind of talking about my thoughts on like delays and Shin Megami Tensei and what I want for the series as far as like a release date. Personally, I would like the 2021. I would love to play this as soon as possible, but if we can't, I will be okay with a 22 release date. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this, guys. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.